There are moments in life when everything feels heavy, when waking up feels like a chore, and simply existing feels exhausting. This isn't just about being physically tired, it's emotional exhaustion, mental fatigue, and that haunting sense of emptiness inside. These are signs of burnout and deep psychological distress, a silent struggle many people face, yet few openly talk about.
Emotional fatigue doesn't appear suddenly. It builds up over time through the accumulation of stress and unresolved emotions. Chronic stress from school, work, or personal relationships can quietly eat away at a person's sense of balance and peace. When there's constant pressure to perform, meet expectations, or hide pain, the mind begins to shut down as a way to protect itself. Underlying depression also contributes, often disguised as simple tiredness or lack of motivation, but it's much deeper than that. Traumatic experiences, whether from the past or ongoing, can also weigh heavily on the psyche, draining one's emotional energy without relief. Over time, this mix of stress, sadness, and dissatisfaction turns into a kind of emotional burnout, where even ordinary tasks feel overwhelming. People begin to feel detached from life itself, questioning their purpose and wondering if things will ever feel different again. Psychologists have tried to explain why emotional exhaustion can feel so all-consuming. One key explanation is learned helplessness theory, which suggests that when people face repeated failures or uncontrollable stress, they eventually stop trying, not because they want to give up, but because their brains start believing that nothing will ever change. Over time, this belief creates a deep sense of powerlessness that fuels depression and fatigue. Existential psychology takes another angle, suggesting that humans feel exhausted when they lose sight of meaning or purpose in life. Without a clear why, the effort to keep going feels meaningless, leaving individuals trapped in emptiness. Biologically, depressive disorders also change brain chemistry, reducing serotonin and dopamine, the chemicals linked to motivation and pleasure. This is why emotional exhaustion can make you feel both mentally foggy and physically weak. Emotional numbness, in turn, becomes the body's last defense mechanism, a way of shutting down overwhelming feelings by feeling nothing at all.
It's easy to mistake emotional fatigue for normal tiredness, but the signs often go much deeper. Burnout shows up through irritability, disinterest in things you once loved, and a constant feeling of being drained even after rest. Depression may appear similar, but carries heavier emotional weight. Sadness, hopelessness, and sometimes the inability to feel joy at all. Emotional numbness is another signal, when you no longer react to good or bad news, when every day feels the same, and when you stop caring about things that used to matter. Some may notice physical symptoms too, headaches, body aches, or insomnia caused by the mental toll of stress. Others might isolate themselves, not out of choice, but because socializing feels like too much effort. Recognizing these patterns is crucial because it's the first step in realizing that your body and mind are asking for help, not punishment, but healing. Healing from emotional exhaustion isn't quick, but it begins with small, intentional changes. Self-care goes beyond relaxation. It's about restoring balance and respecting your limits. Setting boundaries, saying no when needed, and allowing yourself time to rest are forms of self-preservation, not selfishness. Mindfulness practices such as meditation, breathing exercises, and journaling help you reconnect with the present moment, calming the constant mental noise. Building resilience means gradually retraining your brain to see challenges as temporary, not permanent, developing hope through patience and small victories. Therapy is also an essential step. Professionals can guide you through identifying your emotional triggers and help rebuild your coping skills. Most importantly, remember that recovery is not linear. Some days will be better than others, but every step forward, no matter how small, is still progress toward peace.
Support systems are one of the most powerful tools in overcoming emotional exhaustion.
When you reach out to others, whether it's a friend, family member, teacher, or therapist, you begin to break the cycle of isolation that often fuels mental fatigue. Talking about your struggles doesn't make you weak. It's an act of courage that opens the door to understanding and connection. Social support can also help you gain perspective. Sometimes, hearing a comforting voice reminds you that you're not as alone as you think. For some, joining support groups or online communities can provide validation and encouragement from others facing similar struggles. On a larger scale, creating environments where people can speak openly about mental health in schools, workplaces, or even online helps reduce the stigma that keeps many silent. When people feel seen, heard, and supported, recovery becomes not only possible, but sustainable. Feeling tired of existing doesn't have to be the end of your story. With support, self-compassion, and purpose-driven living, it's possible to rebuild your energy and rediscover meaning. Growth often begins where burnout once lived, in the quiet decision to keep going, even when it's hard. So take that small step today. Reach out, breathe, and believe that renewal is possible. You are more than your exhaustion, and your life still holds so much potential waiting to unfold.